We watched you guys on Saturday. It seemed like you were working, obviously outside corner as usual, but also getting a little run at the nickel safety position. What's the balance been like for you this spring?
I'm actually having a good time adjusting to a little bit of both because I have some experience at nickel for 707. Played with the bootleggers a long time in the nickel, so it's been a good adjustment, just balancing my skills for both corner and nickel.
Did you bring that up? Did the coaches come to you and say, hey, could you do this?
Yes, sir. It was brought to me, so I just got a hold of the opportunity, brought with my coach, so wherever I can play on the field, get there.
What are the skills that are required that are maybe a little bit different when you're inside at nickel like that as opposed to on the outside?
I would say just a little more patience, and you have to have, good feet because you have more space to work with, or the receiver has more space to work with. So I just say a little bit more patience and just amount of ground you give to the receiver in the slot.
Is it any more difficult trying to do two different positions? I mean, for me, split your focus a little bit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Just trying to balance both of those out. It's been a constant challenge, but I'm just trying to get perfect my craft on both.
Who approached you about giving that a shot? Jyaire, you know what I mean? I mean, there were some problems occasionally last year with that slot corner and the cover situation.
Yeah.
I mean, are y'all addressing that? I mean, how would you say you're addressing it?
Pretty much, it was just brought to me by Coach Waller and Coach Eliano just to increase my value, man. Be versatile. Wherever I can help the team at, that's what I'm gonna do.
Jyaire, you look quite a bit bigger.
Yes, sir. Coach Mick, man. Shout out Coach Mick. Hell yeah.
How much different does your body feel now?
I feel a lot different, just addressing blocks, coming down and, thudding up a little bit more. I feel a lot different.
I know that's just a part of anybody showing up and getting bigger, physically stronger.
Yeah.
When you were having to do that last year without maybe the benefit of this, how challenging was that? Did that give you a realization,
yeah, absolutely,
what you have to do?
First, just Coach Mick being on my ass. I'm sorry, being on my, all throughout the year, just about me getting my weight up. That was one factor that played a big, me wanting to get my weight up. But as far as playing wise, I always felt it's always about the heart that matters, never about the size. So it's just been a good adjustment having that weight on me.
What is your size, by the way?
Huh?
What are you at right now?
I'm sitting at 183 right now.
Can you tell the difference when you're
Yes, sir.
at impact, so to
Yes,
speak?
sir. Absolutely.
Where does it pay off?
Just the difference, man. We call it the difference, getting that long arm, stuff like that. Absorbing those blocks a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What's the competition been like at cornerbacks between you, Denzel, Davison, Jordan? How do you feel like you guys are all pushing each other right now?
Man, we just all getting each other better, each and every day. We all feed off one another, and we all bring great intensity and energy when we come out to the field. We just competing to get better.
Do you feel like it could be a situation this year where 3 or 4 cornerbacks are playing a lot this season?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Do you feel like it could be a situation where 3 or 4 cornerbacks are playing a lot rather than just 2 guys this year?
That's something that could play a factor, yes. But we just have to see as the year going on. We just got to keep working.
Coach Knowles and Coach Day have kind of talked about wanting to make it really competitive this spring for the defense. Have you seen that? How does that maybe show up in practice or in drills when you're trying to raise the level of competition?
Well, first we changed prices a little bit up to start. So to start, we come out and we have after our dynamic warm up, we go straight into competition between offense and defense, whether it's just individual competition. So just changing our mindset from winning workouts and all the way up to now, just competing, trying to win. Every rep, every play, everything you do is just trying to win.
We were here a couple mornings tug of war.
Yeah,
that's one of the things that you guys are doing.
Yes, sir. There's always a winner or loser because they're preaching. So we just want to get that mindset to win, get in that habit of winning, and that's all.
So listen, those are your teammates that you're pulling against, that you're competing against.
Yeah.
How much do you care if you win in those little moments like that?
We care a lot. I'm pretty sure everyone who competes in that drill, if you compete in period, if you're a competitor, you care a lot if you win or lose.
What has the addition of Davison done to your guys' unit?
He's been a big addition. Just bringing that swagger, you know what I'm saying? Complete, being coachable, pushing each other, pushing the receivers, pushing the DB room. So he's been a great addition.
What about yourself? I mean, last year you're a true freshman. You kind of get thrown into the fire a little bit. Were there times maybe you felt a little apprehensive about being thrust into the role? Was it sooner than what you thought last year as far as getting some of those starts and playing time?
Yes, sir. For me personally, I came in wanting to get to work early, so it was kind of surprising me getting those early starts, but it was kind of like, I knew I was going to be here.
And what's that done for you now, just coming into this?
It's been my freshman year has been a big help to now. I just feel a lot more comfortable, Coach Walt, he's standing on me, and things that he gives us, the tools that he gives us, I just try to use those tools from last year and this year and try to perfect my craft and better my game.
So you handled your business last year when you were in there, but when you're thrown in like that, if you have a rough snap or you get beat, like how do you handle that? Does it get you down sometimes?
As a corner, as a defensive back, Coach Walt, and I'm pretty sure every corner preaches short-term memory, so you got to have a short-term memory when things like that happen.
And that last year does what for you this year?
It just gives me tremendous confidence. Me being comfortable, it gives me a more comfortable standpoint, and just going out there and playing, having that confidence. Like I said, knowing that last year helped me, and this year should be a great year.
Why are you a corner? How did you come to be playing corner in your football life?
I actually switched from receiver to corner my sophomore year of high school. So my dad, he was just one of those father figures that, he had a plan for me, and I just had to trust and follow that plan. And my sophomore year, he made me switch to defensive back.
Did you think, oh, great, this is great? Or were you like, Dad, what are you doing? I want to catch touchdowns, man.
Yeah, I was kind of like, Dad, what are you doing? But I knew it was for the greater good at the end of the day.
What do you think he saw? Was it just that what corners can be? Was it something about how physical you were? Why did you do it?
That's the great thing about having a father figure growing up. They see you every day. They know their child, basically. And as a parent, I'm pretty sure you know your child and what their strength is, the weakness is. And I'm pretty sure you saw my strength and what my weakness was.
So you think you made the right decision?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
I'm good.
Davison, it just seems like, people have been having a lot of good things to say about you. How comfortable have you felt out there in your first spring year?
I felt very comfortable, to be honest with you. After playing my true freshman year last season, I feel just comfortable playing college football now. Like, I'm completely comfortable.
What's been the biggest transition from Ole Miss to here?
That's a good question. I really don't know. I feel like it's been, like, very easy. Like, Ohio State has been very easy. It feels like home. Like, it feels like Jersey, to be honest with you.
What is it that feels like home about being here?
Just the up north vibe, like the family atmosphere. Like, it feels like New Jersey.
25 degrees at 7 a.m.
Exactly.
Do you like that?
I do. I mean, I'm a Jersey boy, so I'm used to it. It's not a problem for me.
Yeah. I don't think it's ever been 25 in Oxford, has it?
Actually, it has.
It has. Yeah.
It gets pretty cold down there, too.
Hey, Davison, or you go by Dave, right?
Yeah, I go by Davison Dave.
When you made this move, what did you tell yourself about walking into somebody else's room? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you were changing rooms, like cornerback wise and stuff. Were you intent on fitting in? How would you explain meeting new guys? You know what I mean, and making sure you don't rock the boat, so to speak.
I feel like my play speaks for itself, so I feel like other good football players have to embrace me because I'm also a good football player. I feel like, so I feel like if you see real, you will accept it.
What did last year? What are you finding? I was asking somebody else about this a while ago. Getting to start 10 games in the SEC, etc. What did that do for you right now as you're sitting here from a competition standpoint of knowing you have the goods? You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. So like coming in as a freshman last year, that's probably the hardest thing that I've ever done in my entire life. So I feel like nothing else, like everything that happens to me moving forward, is not going to be as hard.
Yeah.
When you decided to go into the transfer portal after your freshman season in Mississippi, can you tell us kind of what led to that process? How you decided that, and what that all kind of like led to?
Okay, so Chris Partridge, the defensive coordinator at Ole Miss last year, he got fired, and I just felt like he was the main reason why I went down there in the first place. So I just feel like him getting fired, it was an opportunity to explore other options.
When you had just been recruited out of high school, what was it like to kind of go through that process then again so soon afterwards? What was that like?
It was easier because in high school you don't know as much. I feel like playing a year of college football, like understanding like the entire like aspect of college football, it definitely made it easier.
All that seemed to happen pretty quickly. When you went into the portal, was Ohio State the goal? Was this the place you wanted to go, or how did that process work?
I mean, Ohio State was the place I wanted to be since I was a little boy. Like out of high school, they didn't actually like come and get me. So like hopping in the portal, if I'm being honest with you, I didn't think that they would like offer me, to be honest with you.
Coach Walt said it kind of took some convincing to get you here. Yes or no?
Like he convinced me to be here.
I mean, he just said that like the process to get you to come play for Ohio State, get you in the portal, it just there were some things going on. He said, and it just took maybe some convincing to get you to come here. I don't know, that's what he said.
Maybe that's what I showed, but deep down in my heart, I knew I was coming to Ohio State from the jump.
Describe
Why
your
were
game
you
a little bit.
played hard to get?
You're obviously
Yeah,
a big
exactly.
corner. Like, describe your game out there. What do you do well?
I'm a big corner. I'm a physical corner. I want to put my hands on you. I'm going to come up, make tackles. I'm going to get pass breakups, get interceptions. I'm also a ball hawk as well. I just do a little bit of everything.
The coach knows was really talking to you up. He said you're doing excellent. It's got to feel good to hear the defensive coordinator say that about you. But how do you feel like you played so far in the spring?
I feel like, to be honest with you, I feel like I haven't played my best football yet. Like, I can be so much better than I am right now.
You said you grew up an Ohio State fan, or that was the team you?
Yes, I did.
How did you pick them, or what made you?
I mean, I'm from up north, so like, Ohio State's probably the best team up north, to be honest with you. Like, just watching like guys like Denzel Ward and Jeff Okudah, like.
To see the successful a lot of other Jersey guys have had here in recent years, did that factor into wanting to be a Buckeye?
I mean, of course, but I want it to be I feel like just Ohio State speaks for itself, and like just like their first round draft talent, I think it speaks for itself, to be honest with you.
Did you have much of a relationship with Ohio State during the recruiting process at all?
So in high school, Ohio State never reached out to me.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like in high school I was under. I feel like in high school I didn't get like all the big time offers like as I should have.
So I guess when you do go into the portal, it would seem maybe you want to lean more towards schools that you at least had a relationship with during the recruiting process. Why did you kind of said you were an Ohio State fan, but like how did that come on your radar, and why did you end up picking Ohio State in this process?
To be honest with you, Coach Day just gave me a phone call, and like it was Ohio State. I'm like, there's probably a lot like Ohio State like speaks for itself. They were going to be the national champions. Like if a couple plays were different, they would have been the national champions. So I just feel like it was pretty easy.
So when you look at those plays, you're thinking that's where I could help this
Exactly.
team.
Exactly.
When Coach Day calls you, is that like one of those phone calls you remember like where you're standing?
I was in the field house at my high school, like during a lift, and it was I want to say a Boston phone number. I'm like, who could possibly be calling me? And then it was Ryan Day. And I just said, God is good.
How quickly did that call come after you entered the portal?
It was kind of late after I entered the portal. I feel like I was already getting recruited. It was kind of, so I want to, it was probably late. So probably the week, like the last day I spent in the portal, he called me. Like I want to say last day. So I had a visit to UCLA, I want to say on Friday, maybe Tuesday, Ryan Day called me.
Tuesday after that visit?
No, Tuesday, yes, Tuesday before.
So it kind of all came together very quickly.
Yes, it did.
Did he explain to you that when they look at the transfer report, they're looking for guys who definitely are going to fit in? I mean, how did he explain to you why their call came a little bit late? You know what I mean? It sounds like he did a pretty good evaluation of you.
I would say like Ohio State is the top program, one of the top programs in the country, so they're just not going to go after everybody. They need to make sure that you're a good enough player to play here. I feel like that's what took so long.
Yeah, I had a former player the other day at the scrimmage watching, and he told me, like you brought him up a minute ago, he said you remind him of Jeffrey Okudah.
That's what I'm going for, to be honest with you.
What would you see in Okudah that just strikes you?
Him being physical, coming up, putting hands on receivers, making tackles. He's a total package, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Thanks,
What
man.
is the value of
The big difference between Ole Miss and other years.
The competition. Every school preaches competition, but Ohio State lives competition every single day, from the weight room to the field. You're competing in everything.
what's the value of that year being spent in the SEC?
It's astronomical, to be honest with you. I feel like what I endured as a true freshman coming in high school and enrolling early as a 17-year-old, I feel like it was the hardest thing that I ever had to do in my life. So I feel like that prepared me for everything moving forward.
Did you have a moment last year at Ole Miss where you felt like things clicked, you sort of had a breakthrough moment where it's like I could be like a freshman and start playing right away for this team?
I wouldn't say that, but I know as a 17-year-old leaving home, I knew that I wasn't leaving home to not play. Like, I knew I was making all these sacrifices for like something great.
What's the competition like at corner right now?
Last
with
question
guys
right
like Denzel and Jordan and you and Jyaire. Just talk about the competition at corner a little bit.
It's a good competition. I mean, those are all like top players in the entire country. So I just feel like competition just makes everybody play better.
There's probably places you could have gone where you would have been guaranteed to start. What made you want to come here where you would have to compete for a job?
Of course, I want to be a first-round draft pick. I feel like if you come to Ohio State, if you play the best players every day, you'll be like prepared.
Great. Davison, thank you very much.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a good one.
You too, man.
In August, and then the injury happened. Is it nice to finally at least have a little bit of practice time before you have to jump on the playing field?
Oh yeah, for sure. A lot of practice. We're getting a lot better. Hitting on the stuff that maybe we had mistakes on last year, and we're harping on it right now. So it's good.
Everybody that we've talked to said that you and Denzel are getting your hands on a lot more footballs this spring. Is there something to that, or do you feel that too? Do you feel like you guys are making a lot of progress, you and Denzel, at the first two corners?
I'll say that's more of an emphasis on the coaches. They really, our big deal is +2 in straining. I really needed to work on that in the past, and I've been trying to work on that. So we're touching a lot more footballs and stuff like that because of our coaches. So.
How difficult was it for you last August when you were, like I said, supposed to be one of those breakout guys?
Yeah.
You had pretty high expectations for yourself, I'd imagine. The injury sets you back so much. I mean, how difficult was that for you, and do you feel like you've rebounded pretty nicely?
Yeah, I feel like it was difficult, but it was really an eye-opening thing because maybe I needed to learn on stuff, like really learn how to take care of my body and stuff like that. So me being injured really made me learn to grow.
What's it mean now for you to be running with the ones?
It means really doesn't mean anything right now. It's just competing and cheering on the guys and just having fun with my boys out there. So, I mean, depth chart, I don't really want to harp on that or anything like that, but, I just want to compete. That's all I want to do.
When you're missing as much practice time as you did, game time as you did last year, what are you able to kind of keep up on, and where do you feel like maybe you're falling behind from missing those reps? Like where is your game able to kind of keep progressing, and where do you kind of feel like you sort of stall out while you're
maybe from probably not getting the reps and game speed, maybe missing some checks because I haven't been out there in so long. I've been in the meeting room, so probably the game speed. But now me being back and playing a couple of games last year made me kind of mature, and I feel like I've matured a lot this year.
And now you get a chance to work against some pretty darn good wide receivers
right.
this spring. What does that allow you to really improve in your game, facing guys like that in practice?
Really, you got a technique. And sometimes, because they're so good, you can't even your technique's not going to be flawless. Maybe you have to beat them by out-efforting them or finishing harder than them. So that's what we're learning right now, going against those guys over there. They make us better each and every day. So,
do you feel like you have a better grasp of the defense this year now that it's sort of year two?
Yeah, for sure. I can know why we run different types of defenses, and for instance, like down and distance, why we run those plays. So definitely.
Did not being able to play as much as you wanted to last year help you better grasp that mental side of it? Were you taking those mental reps, does that help that greater understanding you're talking about?
Yeah, for sure. Maybe getting mental reps in the back. Pros, they do that all the time. So really trying to operate, maybe not having those game reps, but on the mental side, I feel like I prepared for this year. So
it seemed like at this time last year, you were really making a move and impressing the coaching staff, and everyone was really excited about that. Obviously, it got derailed, but do you feel like you're back to that player that was kind of out here doing that stuff last year?
For sure. For sure.
I guess a fully healthy 100% Jordan Hancock, what does he bring to the defense?
I feel like I bring a competitive spirit. I know the defense in and out, so just kind of a veteran guy now that knows the defense in and out. So.
Is it weird to be a veteran guy now?
Yeah, it is. It feels like I just got here. It hasn't even been 2 years. I'm a veteran guy now. So.
Jordan, what maybe didn't you get to show last year just because you were sidelined so often? Because we heard a lot about you coming into the season what last year was supposed to be.
Probably my explosiveness. You know, last year I couldn't want to maybe explode out like I wanted to because of my hamstring. But now having a full off season, getting with Coach Mick, you know, Coach Walt teaching us a lot of stuff from the game, and maybe probably my explosiveness. I feel like I can change the game.
Did you ever really get right last year, or did the season just needed to end and you get a moment to?
That's kind of like a hard answer. I really don't know how to probably say about that.
When you're getting ready to compete for a job this offseason, coaching staff brings in a guy who played in the SEC last year.
Yeah.
What's your kind of mental approach to that? Do you take it as a challenge? Do you look at it as, did I do something? You know, like how do you view a guy coming in from the transfer portal like that?
Sure, I want to be the best in America. I want this whole unit to be the best in America. That's what we stand on. So bringing in Davison, he's a great kid. He's really good. So bringing him in really boosts all of us, and he pushes all of us. So I feel like that was a great change for us to bring him in. And, yeah.
What's he like as a teammate?
He's a good teammate. Maybe we mess up on our technique, he'll bring us in like, oh, you messed up on this and why we did that and stuff like that. So he pushes us. He's a great teammate. I'm happy he's here.
Jordan, you playing at a heavier weight? Are you playing heavier right now than you did last fall?
Last fall, nah, I'm still around 190. So
is that where Coach Mick wants you? And how have you felt your body change? Not only since you got here, but since the injury and sitting out for so long. How have you felt your body change?
You know, it was hard adjusting because, you know, last year I put on weight, and then my injury on top of that, maybe it could be harder. But Coach Mick, just tapping in with him the whole offseason made us faster and more explosive. So thank you, Coach Mick, for that.
What does a Mamba mentality mean to you, and why is it important to you personally?
Kobe, you know, that's what he harps on, just trying to be the best version of yourself. That's kind of what it is. And every day you try to chop wood and carry water every day. So that's why I got that.
What does it bring to a room when you have a guy come in who's played at another school and has that experience, maybe playing in a different system?
Yeah, you know, it could be hard for him to learn the defense, but he's definitely adapt to our defense like way quicker than anybody thought he would. And I'm just happy he's in our room. You know, we learn from him, he learns from us, so he just makes us better.
You came in with Denzel. Like, what did you see from Denzel last year, and how have you maybe seen him improve this offseason?
Attention to detail for sure. Competing way harder than usual. You know, he's in here at 5 a.m. Watching film like before anybody is here. So that's what kind of separates him and makes him a great player.
Have you seen like a difference in him in that, like taking his work up to a different level this year?
For sure, yeah. He's definitely moving like a pro. Maybe he didn't do that last year, but I feel like he kind of did last year, but he's taking it to a whole different level this year, and I feel like he's going to go back on the map this year. So.
All right, thank you, Jordan.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Denzel, when your teammates say that you have a different attitude this offseason or this spring, what does that mean?
I feel like going into this year, it's a personal year for me. I want to prove all the doubters wrong. I want to go out there and do what I know I can do, and you know, just put a lot of great stuff on tape and, you know, play hard for my team.
We saw you felt like in Peach Bowl you were sort of back to what you expected. I mean, physically, that was the biggest part of that. To end the year the way you did, was that some validation that this was coming back for you, or how did that feel for you?
It's always been a validation for myself because I know what I can do on the field. You know, I felt like I finished really strong in my second half of the season, and you know, I just wanted to finish off strong and then have some momentum going into this year, and that's what I did. So, yeah.
Looking back on it, how much did the injury impact you throughout the year?
A lot. I know physically I couldn't go out of the team. You know, I had the shoulder, I had the ankle, and fingers. So, you know, I'm healthy this year. Thank God. So, you know, God willing, I can just stay healthy all year.
Does that mess with your psyche? I mean, you play a physical sport, and you just listed a bunch of different injuries.
It definitely does, because, you know, when I'm out, I'm not able to set my foundation, you know, be able to do my technique, and then going out there and play, you know, I haven't really set my foundation, so, you know, a lot of things are off, and then I got to think about some of my injuries, and I got to find a way to play, you know, with my injuries.
So is there just something to why you're playing better? Because I'm not, thinking about a shoulder being hurt or a hand being hurt. Like this.
Well, definitely, I feel good. I play even better. So, I'm fully healthy. That plays a big part in the game. I just got to stay on my body weight, continue to take care of my body. And that's what I plan to do.
Yeah, were you ever thinking to yourself, what's going on here, man? I get over one thing, I got another. You understand what I'm saying? Did you feel a little snake bit last year? Did something from a physical standpoint?
I went through a roller coaster of emotions last year. God, it was a plan. God had a plan for me, and I learned a lot last year. And I'm going to use everything to my advantage going into this year.
What do you think is good? What stands out to you about this secondary right now as y'all are practicing now that y'all learned last year from going through last year? You understand? What are you feeling out there this spring about the experience you obtained?
The competition is really high. A lot of guys are balling and playing good. And that just breeds even more competition with the other guys in the unit, the safeties, the corner, linebackers, everybody. So everybody's playing hard, and we have a chip on our shoulder.
Hey, David Igbinosun, what stood out to you about him so far?
Tall, lengthy, long, really physical, good at the line of scrimmage, and he's a good corner.
Did he fit into the room pretty quickly?
Oh yeah. I feel like the corner room this year is a lot tighter than it has been since I've been here. And that's really cool, to be a leader and to see that. It's awesome.
What's the difference between, like you said, you guys are a little tighter right now. What was the difference maybe the last couple of years why you weren't as tight?
It's not that we weren't tight. It's just I feel like, we have more conversations as a unit. We hang out more outside the building. And, so last year just didn't happen.
You guys have just maybe being around each other a little bit more.
Yeah.
A couple seasons now, you're starting to gel a little bit more.
Yeah.
Is that maybe one of the challenges going from getting back to COVID? We're done with it now, but finally protocols are starting to lift a little bit.
I wouldn't really say it's a challenge, but you're talking about like one.
Yeah, like it's been a slow process to open things back up, and there's been a lot of hesitancy, especially in a lot of these athletic departments. Do you think now that it's finally over, that's the reason that you guys are able to connect more outside and inside and do more together?
Yeah, definitely.
Denzel, you called it a personal year for you. Do you feel like the same things for Jordan, and do you guys talk about that together to kind of bounce back? Because you both had similar seasons last year.
Yeah, we honestly push each other to the limits every single day. We want to be able to prove everybody right, prove everybody wrong. And but yeah, we honestly just push each other hard every day, and we want the best from each other. Try to get better, 1% better every single day. So.
What's it like for you being in the same defense 2 years in a row?
Oh, finally got my feet wet. I'm picking Coach No's brain. I kind of know what he's going to pick on certain down and distances, whatever down it is, and I just know how to work my way in the scheme. So I feel like I'm a lot more comfortable.
It seems like you guys are challenging balls more in terms of getting your hands on balls, and I know that's a big emphasis last year. Corners had no interceptions for this team.
Yeah, that's unacceptable, and we've been touching the ball. We've been touching the rock a lot these past couple of practices, and we just want to lead that momentum going into the season. So that's the plan: touch the rock.
Is that because the speed has increased for being in the system for the second year straight?
I feel like being in the system for the second year has kind of helped everybody in the room, and Coach Walk, he stresses just strain and effort. If you strain to the ball, you're gonna touch it. So yeah.
Who's had the most impressive pick through several practices?
Jyaire Brown.
What did he do, and who did he pick off?
I don't remember who he picked off, but I remember he's just breaking on curls, and he had an out route. Crazy.
Spring game's coming up. This will be your first time to showcase you after recovering from the injury here. What do you look to show Buckeye Nation there, even though it's just a scrimmage?
We just want to show that BIA is back, and we're not leaving nothing to chance this year, and really excited.
What didn't Jordan get? You were hurt, but you were established, and we had been hearing a lot about Jordan going into the season and then hamstring. What did he get to show last year that fans were?
He was able to show that he could play. He's part of our family, and we trust him. And this year, I feel like it's really personal for him too. He's just planning on really being healthy and showing up.
Have you noticed anything different? We heard corners and safeties are meeting together a little bit more. Have you noticed anything different because of that changing?
I just feel like we're all locked in a lot more. We know the system more, and I feel like BIA we started doing more meetings together with the safeties and the corners. So I feel like everybody's really on the same page.
obviously you played a lot your freshman year, but when you guys were hurt, some of the freshmen had to play more than they probably expected last year. How much will that experience help them as they move along?
Most definitely, it helped them get their feet wet, get a feel of the game, the tempo of the game, and being in the shoe in front of all those people, and not being scared.
Was that alarming for you? I mean, that first time going out there?
Oh, most definitely. Minnesota, I was nervous. I remember just me looking around like, this is crazy. But, it was fun.
Good.